Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Community Relations Multimedia Specialist Carly Youthy, joined today by Superintendent Dr. Brian Maher. Hello, Dr. Maher.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me today.
You bet.
So we're going to talk about first quarter. Again, I'm floored at how quickly the first quarter went. We're already at its end and we're starting the second quarter. You always make it a priority to be in schools to kind of check in with teachers, check in with students, see how things are going. Can you tell us maybe what you saw first quarter, with the new start date and things like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first of all, I try to get into multiple buildings every week, and I can tell you the old small town guy in me doesn't feel like I'm in buildings near enough.
Sure.
But it really keeps me grounded, keeps me focused on the reason that we're doing what we do, all of us. Where it's centered on the development of our students. So that's good for me to actually go and see students from our youngest learners to our oldest learners. So it's a pleasure to be around them. Also gives me an opportunity to speak with folks who are employed in the district, either teachers or administrators or cooks or custodians or clerical. It gives me an opportunity to really hear voices that I don't hear necessarily on a day-to-day basis. So that part is always good, no matter what they tell me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, second quarter I feel like is almost maybe busier sometimes than first quarter. You've got the back to school craziness with sports, activities, things like that. But I think second quarter you've got so many things. We start, daylight savings comes, you've got Thanksgiving break, you've got winter break, you've got some of that winter weather. What kinds of things do you think people have to look
Well, here's the
forward
good news. We're not going to have any winter weather this year.
Nothing.
So none of that.
90 degrees all winter long.
It's interesting. So I've got 3 grown kids, and I was talking to them, and one of the things that I still battle every year is you get into a routine at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And then you get into that second quarter, and there are so many things that try to knock you out of your routine. You mentioned already daylight savings time.
Yeah.
What does that do? I think for me personally, the most powerful thing I do is a morning routine. And when that routine changes by an hour and the sun is coming up at a different time, it changes that. So do everything you can, I think, to really stay true to that morning routine. And then when Thanksgiving comes around and the testing season isn't too far away and parties in classrooms and the holiday season that brings its own unique challenges to your routine. The more you can stay in a routine, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's tough. It gets tough to do in that second quarter.
Yeah, like you said too, it's just an hour too that with that daylight savings time. But that can I know for me personally, it's weeks before I feel like I'm finally back on track. So yeah, I like your...
We throw in all the sugar that comes with the end of daylight savings and Halloween and and Thanksgiving and pumpkin pie. And there are just a lot of things that really can knock us off of kilter, whether it is that time changes to daylight savings time or our eating habits or our going to bed and getting up habits, et cetera, et cetera.
Definitely. So it's very important, I would say, and I think you would agree, that parents really need to, be aware of what's going on and pay attention to calendars that schools are sending out, just so they do know when there isn't school or when breaks exactly are. So that's always important. But what piece of advice do you have for both parents and students? What advice can you give to make second semester or second quarter as successful as first quarter?
Nail that morning routine.
Yeah,
that's more personal than it is superintendent, but I really believe that if you can, for me personally, it's if you can stay in a position of gratitude, be thankful for all the things that are happening around you, and if you can nail your morning routine, you can really handle most of life, including when your text messages goes off. Sorry about that.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Maher. And for parents, please be aware, you can go to our website, sfk1.k12.sd.us, where we will have a list of some of those dates, all of those dates that there won't be school, and we'll also be posting them on our Facebook page and some other platforms too that you can tune into, so you know when school is, when school isn't, and some of those tips to help you make second quarter a successful quarter. So thanks for joining us today on Envision.